I'm Chris Humphreys.
Lynn Kira,
Mason Medeiros,
Felipe Koenig,
and this is the APTA Tour.
See you at Short Hills.
Hello and welcome to the APTA Tour. We are live from the Short Hills Club bringing you the Short Hills Grand Prix, a 2022-23 APTA Tour event, which is the 10th stop on the APTA Tour, presented by Remedy Plus and sponsored by the APTA membership, the APTA national sponsors Paddle Pro and Fusion, and local sponsors including the lead sponsor, Core Private Wealth, B&D, Maple Crest Ford Lincoln, Xenon, Club Pilates, Smith Chiropractic, Paper Ribbon Wrap, Spyro, Harrison, and Nelson, Wet Ticket Brewing, New Jersey Men's Platform Tennis Association, and New Jersey Flex League. I'm Lauren Mandel, along with Patty Hogan, and we are bringing you this women's quarterfinal match between Amy Shea and Jolene Sutter, and the third-seeded team, Carrie Delmonico and Lauren Gebbia. Hi, Patty.
Lauren, what an amazing matchup we have here with the number 3 and 4 teams in the country. Current national rankings, facing each other in this quarterfinal matchup. These, I think that we're going to have 3 sets. It's going to take a while. Want to look at the draw and see what
brought us
here. Take a look at the draw and just go through this real quickly. This is the top half of the draw. Shea Sutter took out Cranon Herschel 4-0, and Delmonico Gebbia, as you can see, won their round of 16, 6-3, 6-2, had a good match. The winner of this match will come out on the top half of the draw, playing the winner of the Anika Nicolescu, Morgan Sikora. That'll be a semifinal. Semifinals slated for 5 o'clock this afternoon, Lauren. And, our draw has proceeded as expected. All the top teams have gone through, fairly predictable, and this is an intriguing matchup in that the teams are kind of similar in terms of their style.
Yes, and no surprises here. They all know each other very. First of all, we should take a look and identify the
now
players.
We get that great shot thanks to MI Paddle. My Paddle in the near court with that green hat. That's Lauren Gebbia. Firepower, forehand, backhand, boom, dynamic player. In the very colorful jacket, in the deuce court, that would be Short Hills Club's very own Carrie Delmonico. On the far side, the lefty, standing currently over on the deuce side, that's Jolene Sutter, and her partner, longtime amazingly accomplished player, Amy Shea.
I mean, we have some serious veterans on this court, Patty. I mean, Shea and Delmonico have been doing this at the top of the game for 20 years, would you say? And Lauren Gebbia's been doing it for quite a while too. Jolene Sutter is newer to the game, but she's been playing with Amy Shea for the past couple seasons, and they've had some very, very solid results together.
Yeah, and then in terms of the matchups, their style, they kind of will rely, Carrie will work to set up Lauren Gebbia, that's Carrie Delmonico. You'll see the firepower coming more out of that ad court. And then with Jolene Sutter and Amy Shea, I mean, Amy, everything's been said about Amy Shea, but in a quick Reader's Digest version of Amy Shea, just phenomenal, great, ground strokes, covers the baseline, has the reach at the net.
Does everything
well. Can handle the overheads,
Does everything well.
Just amazing player, solid competitor. My question mark with both of these teams coming into this match is just the number of matches they have in their tank this season, last couple tournaments. We've not seen either of these teams out there, and we'll see who that impacts more. A lot of the other quarterfinal matchups, it's players you've seen a lot of Morgan Sikora. They've played a ton of tournaments. Hanish Zabori, ton of tournaments.
Well, they all played Boston 2 weeks ago.
They all played Boston. But just not that many tournaments under their belt this year. And so that'll be the curious thing for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're all going to be ready for this match, and I think that it'll be interesting to see the strategy because, like I said, these teams know each other extremely well, and we'll see if they've. You always can tell what Carrie Delmonico's strategy is. She's the strategist on her team, and she's pretty vocal about what the strategy is. So we'll know that right away.
For sure. One point of note is last year in the Short Hills Invitational, this was a semifinal matchup, and Shea Sutter prevailed in that match. So despite that, I'll make my early pick because I just like doing that when I talk with you, Lauren, about paddle matches. I'm going to go home court advantage. I feel like the Short Hills membership just out large all weekend long. Yesterday, just a festive environment here, second to none when you go to tournaments. You know, the club just embraces hosting these events, and you know, the action last night. You know, I left at 7 o'clock. The B women's final was underway, and there were 50 people out here from the club cheering on all these players. So they appreciate great players and great effort by all the participants. Lauren, there's over 400 players involved this weekend in all the 6 different tournaments going on, run by Brian Skinner, doing an incredible job. 19 clubs, you know, and you don't pull off an event like this unless you get every club in the area to say yes when they give you the phone call, and we just can't thank every neighboring club for giving up their courts. Their membership misses out, but hopefully their membership appreciates, you know, the ability to pull these top-rated events to New Jersey, and you can come see it live all weekend long. At any point, everyone's welcome. Just be ready to park and walk a little bit and wear warm clothes, and great action up close and personal.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just one event, right? It's putting this on. It's putting on 6. Is that how many different tournaments there are?
95s, men's Bs, women's Bs.
Yeah, and all
open.
the back draws and whatever. It's a monumental scheduling task and court gathering task. So kudos to everybody involved.
And really fast, Lauren. A thank you to Canoebrook, Beacon Hill Club, Orange Lawn, Rackets Club of Short Hills, Fairmount, Mars County Golf Club, Montclair Golf Club, Mendham Golf and Tennis, Springbrook, Marstown Field Club, Fiddler's Elbow, Trump Bedminster, Echo Lake, Plainfield Country Club, Essex Hunt Club, and Essex Fells Club. We are so appreciative of them giving us the courts for all these events, especially Junior Nationals on March 4th. Thanks to all those clubs and all the pros who really facilitate getting the courts and you know, making things good with their membership. Get them to appreciate how cool it is to be able to open up your club to the game's top players.
Finishing up taking serves here.
So after this event, the action, the tour goes down to Philly. A couple more events leading up to the Nationals out in March 10th through 12th.
In Chicago this year.
So Carol Everton is up there in the umpire chair. She is a veteran announcer. Fierce player is how I would describe Carol out of Montclair Golf Club. Gebbia and Delmonico went out in the quarters, losing to Cruz and Redesno in Boston. Detroit, they lost to Kira Medeiros. They played Long Island. They lost in the semis there to Cooper Petrini, another team in the quarterfinals here today. They finished the semis, losing to Medeiros and Redesno in Montclair. And, you know, I think they need a strong result here to maintain themselves. There's a lot of cluster of teams who, you know, there's going to be a lot of points had this weekend, and that could really impact things going into nationals with the rankings and the seedings.
Yeah, I mean, you know, everybody wants to be, there is a tight cluster of teams, and everybody would like to be seated in the top 4. So you wouldn't have to play what seems like an almost unbeatable team in Hanish and Zaburi before the semifinals. Anika and Nicolescu look pretty unbeatable too, although they lost in Boston to Kiro and Medeiros in a great match. So everyone's looking for their national seeding right now. We lost Jolene Sutter.
You know, it happens. You find one, you lose one. So quick here's what happened, here's what's happening this weekend. 420 players, 19 different clubs, 6 different events. I mean, women's B, 64 teams yesterday, Lauren. Just a phenomenal tournament. And big thanks to Brian Skinner, our tournament director, Crystal Skinner, Derek and Christina Bowen, Jerry and Diane Brown, Glenn Gang, our GM here at Short Hills Club, the entire maintenance staff from Short Hills, Isabella, our events coordinator, Blake Anderson, who was tremendously helpful with getting the courts and match schedule set, and the SHC kitchen and wait staff.
Okay. You gonna keep that warm spot for yourself? I'll give it to you.
Ooh.
Where's your water? I put it over here.
Lauren, are you going to make a prediction?
No.
Okay. Good talk.
All right, waiting for our umpire to introduce the players.
You hear another umpire.
He's good. He sounds like a professional. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2023 Short Hills Grand Prix event. On my right, Jolene Sutter in the deuce court, playing out of Darien, Connecticut. Her partner, Amy Shea, playing out of Wilton, Connecticut in the ad court. To my left, Carrie Delmonico out of Summit, New Jersey, and Lauren Gebbia, Nanuet, New York. Nice match, ladies. Sutter to serve first.
Okay, Jolene Sutter is going to start serving. She's the lefty. She's a good all-court player. Quick around, very, very quick around the court.
She didn't hit very hard, Lauren.
No.
It just bounced up and over.
It's warm, but it's not that warm. And you lose the point for that.
Ruined our ball in the first point. You don't want it.
Wait, it went far, too.
Lauren, what was the temperature today when you were driving here from?
I think it was 40-something. Yesterday felt like summer.
It was a beautiful day.
Okay, the ball has been retrieved by a nice bystander.
Thank you.
You see Amy bringing that ball in. That's going to be the pace. She's going to try to control the tempo and the pace of play. And she just demonstrated it in retrieving the ball from outside the court. She wasn't going to rush and go and get it. She's just going to, she knows her own tempo.
And she'll always look like that. Winning, losing, tied, she'll be moseying around the same way. There's that big, big power from Lauren Gebbia that you were talking about. She's just going to crack the ball.
I played a set yesterday with Carrie Delmonico against Hall of Famer Zink and Prendergast. Give them a little warm-up, and it was a ride to be out here hitting with them. And Carrie was crushing it. I was playing with her. She was covering for me. I was in the deuce court. She's over in the deuce court today, but she was crushing it, volleying really well.
She always volleys well.
Yeah, she has fierce determination, entering this weekend, and they're really looking to come in here and have legitimate shot at winning the event. So they're going to have to be efficient in order for them to win the event. I can't see them playing too many 3-set matches.
And this is confusing to me. I know we've talked about this in the past with Shea Sutter, but why would they not switch at the net so the forehand overheads are in the middle?
Sure, we've only seen in the sport where everybody switches, gets their overheads in the middle. I've seen them do this. I actually haven't seen them do this where it's been helpful to them. I've seen them do it, and it just seems to keep things status quo in the point, but I don't see that they gain any advantage, and there's no offensive overheads coming from them. That's a really good serve by Sutter, taking Delmonico out wide there.
Yeah, you see how tough it is to handle that return from Gebbia. Heavy ball.
Yeah, and Sutter has a little bit of an unorthodox service motion, as well as when her overhead's a little different style. And I think she's going to have to serve incredibly well to offset the Gebbia firepower from that ad court.
Yeah, and she had, that was the first game, so everybody's working out some kinks. But she has a good first volley, Sutter, as does Shea. But they're going to have to really get in there and do it well today, because the returns are going to come fast and furious.
And I think the reason they would stay, when we talked about it at net, and keep their backhands in the middle is maybe to offset some of the driving and keep their backhand volleys right next to each other and form a wall that way.
Sacrifice the overheads in a sense for the backhand volleys. Yep.
Right, and if you think that it's a team that's not going to hurt you with their lobbing, versus some teams are really known as being exceptional lobbers, you wouldn't say that about Delmonico Gebbia, a little different style of play. Delmonico has phenomenal lobber, just spots and works and really maneuvers her opponents to open up court. The court, and typically trying to set Gebbia up out of that ad court.
Right. I mean, that's Delmonico's role. She's a very crafty player. She's she can hit the ball hard, but that's not her style. She really uses the court to her advantage and to varies the pace and sets up her partner.
Yeah, and I know what Shea's capable of on the baseline. Everybody knows, and so I think this is going to be on Sutter out of that deuce court to see what kind of offensive shots she can put on here, because I think she's going to get a million hits. A lot of looks. You don't give Amy Shea too many, historically. She just gets better and better with each hit, as the great players do.
Like I said, you always know what Carrie Delmonico is thinking.
I would expect Delmonico is going to see 92% of the overheads hit from Sutter and Shea. I mean, they're going to pound her and try to move her around. Gebbia's the one known for her firepower and quickness. Delmonico's much more deliberate, phenomenal with her shot making. But I would expect that they would go after her and not give Gebbia too many looks.
And that's the kind of look you want to give Gebbia on a ball that's difficult to drive.
Sure, I mean, that was a strong overhead moving away from Lauren. Her contact point was almost a little bit behind her. Tough ball to pull back in the court.
Nice blitz from Shea. Followed that return.
How many times have we seen that? Yeah, I think against Shea, they really have to get in close on that first volley, because we just saw, with a lot of these top women players, what they'll do is they really feed off their return to serve. When they get that ball below the level in the net, they're charging. They're in your face on that next volley.
And that's how Shea returns. She hits down on the ball, and she's extremely precise about where she hits it. Delmonico stay back that time. That's giving Shea a different look. Couple of errors from Sutter.
And right there, that's where you just see the lefty-righty combination. A righty-righty team can form a wall, commit to a backhand, and then execute the backhand. As a lefty, that lefty will often flip their paddle over the forehand, and she just mistimed the shot.
Shea to serve. Love 15.
It's a lot of room there.
A lot of room between and in front.
Yep, both. Well, Shea volleys from far back always, but there was too much room in between them also. It was just like it looked like a huge amount. It's gonna be a tough way to win. There goes the switch.
Love 30.
Okay. A little bit of a flat start here for Shea Sutter. But it hardly matters.
It doesn't. It doesn't. They'll come back from, and have come back from way further down than 2-3 love.
To your point, you're never going to tell what the score is by Amy Shea's body language in particular. Some of the other players, Delmonico and Gebbia, it's pretty obvious when things are going their way and when things are not. And I think for them as a team, the key is when everything's like right now, things are going their way. I feel like they're in control right here in this first set, early going. And when Sutter and Shea, get charged here, and all of a sudden, are putting a little more pressure, that'll be the key to see how Gebbia and Delmonico handle that. Because I just think in every match, there's so many momentum swings, and I think it's, great teams will play great at times, but I think the greatest teams, remain super competitive even when their execution is struggling a little bit in matches.
And in a paddle match, which we've seen time and time again, there's so many ups and downs and changes of momentum, and it's really important to be able to just keep your level steady and ride out your less good parts.
Exactly.
It's a good spot, right? It's tough to have to pick the paddle up to hit that volley.
And I just think that serve of Sutter over to Gebbia is so dangerous, because I don't think Sutter serves the ball exceptionally deep as a server. Her motion's a little unorthodox, but it doesn't matter. There's all different ways to serve, but the whole key is if you're not hitting the ball with a tremendous amount of spin, you've got to get that depth on it. Otherwise, a player like Gebbia will just jump all over it. This is going to be a giant game because
it's been a pretty awful start for Shea and Sutter.
Right.
I mean, they haven't won so many points.
But I think for Delmonico Gebbia's success, like right here, they're up 3-0. They've got to work. They've got to just keep their foot on the gas here. And, Gebbia's serve, sometimes suspect at times. And I find that in her serving game, sometimes she just gets too fast and it works against her. So I think this is not a critical moment in the match at all, but like in terms of the focus and your mentality about it as a team, you've got to stay strong. And right there, you could see Gebbia almost went out of her way to hit a forehand volley that wasn't even close to being in.
She does like to go out of her way to hit a forehand volley.
She does. And I'm just saying, I think if and here you just see it. She tends to go and then she'll make a mistake, and then she goes too fast, and then you'll have another error come her way. And then all of a sudden, she'll play 6 games that are the most marvelous looking battle points you've ever seen.
Yep.
And I just think great teams and what it takes to win these Grand Prix tournaments, these top tournaments with all the good teams, is you have to really take advantage of little moments like this. Keep your foot on the gas, and there's no thought, oh, we're up 3-0, we can relax. It's no, let's go. Every single game. Oh, sweet shot. Like I said, Delmonico, I felt, was really hitting beautifully yesterday, and you can just see with that shot, she's feeling it. That was a bold shot.
Yeah, she looks very controlled and confident. She's putting the ball exactly where she wants.
Shea staying over in that deuce court. Seeing if they can't find something. A little different combination. All these women can play either side almost equally as well.
40.
And I think Gebbia, I think if all she, like I like that she stayed back there.
She did on the last
Just-
point too, yeah.
Yep, I like that in her. That's good maturity as a player. You know, eliminate the possibility. And you know, she made a couple volley errors, so you don't want to make a volley error right there. So it's a great time to just stay back.
Yes, she missed 3 first volleys, and she said, all right, I'm going to take the first volley out of play. Do that.
Exactly.
Do that instead.
And not feeling comfortable. Like she doesn't serve with a continental grip. Her grip is slightly over from a lot of the other, compared to a lot of the other top players. Sometimes that impacts her. And I think that's what lends itself to playing more shots off the forehands. You know, off her forehand and sort of absorbing the pace of the ball. Like people drill it into her body.
And that's a mistake, right? Sutter thought she was going to get that ball away from Gebbia into the screen, and she was back, and Lauren just took it early and put it right by her. And it's back to deuce from love 40. So good adjustment by Delmonico Gebbia.
See, I think the thing with Gebbia is, you know, if you just stay back, it takes all the pressure off your serving. And she clearly put in a couple serves she wasn't loving because they just fired the ball at her. And so she didn't want to put herself in a position to miss volleys, so she used this strategy. I think this is a great tactic for them anytime it becomes a problem. And they can play baseline all day long. Let the net team do more work. Delmonico and Gebbia are in no rush to pull the trigger, and you don't see like exploding. They're going a little off speed. That's what we always see from Delmonico. But I think that's why she's always in the hunt. And see, that's the discipline, the maturity that Gebbia is going to need. You know, if she's not going to get a lot of looks, and Carrie gets a lot of looks, when she gets that first hit, she doesn't have to go all or nothing on a drive. She's got to put something in that maybe could set herself up. You know, force a little bit of a shorter volley and then really crush it.
They might want to rethink their strategy, Shea and Sutter, if it's not to give Gebbia any looks, because Delmonico hasn't missed a single shot yet. She's hitting good shots.
What do you think? She just stays back?
Yes.
And I love that look with Carrie over there because takes away Shea's cross-court awesome return to serve no matter what. It just gives a straight shot off the back screen to Gebbia. And there's just no easy points so far in this match for Shea Sutter.
Just a little late to go take that one.
It just looked like Sutter wasn't patient there. She didn't.
Yeah, it's
like
unusual for her. She's making a lot of errors. I'm sure she'll cut the errors out, but she's having a rough start. Oh, and there's a mistake from Delmonico. And she's so annoyed because she hasn't made any. This is a 5th or 6th game point for Shea Sutter.
And they really need this game. I mean, it's off of the Gebbia serve, Delmonico's serve. And her ability to hold serve, her team's hold serve is really, really high.
Yes, very reliable serve. Well, they got it. Shea and Sutter, they're on the board. Wasn't easy.
And it's not going to be easy. And you can see they're real deliberate. They're taking their time here, which is, you know, the non-playing time is significant with, you know, Shea. And always, even when she played with Cynthia Dardish, they were a remarkable team. And they always kind of dictated the tempo. Always communicated, a lot of talking, trying to just change things up a little bit. And you just see Delmonico Gebbia chomping at the bit here. See, I think switching and getting Amy Shea to the left of the two players of the net is just a no-brainer for them as a team. I feel like she could hit, you know, 1,000 overheads a set.
She can. She has such a good overhead. She keeps it low. She has nice spin on it. She varies the pace well. She's got a really good overhead.
You know, she doesn't clock it. She doesn't hit that super aggressive ones that we see with a lot of the top women players in the game, but she controls it a different way, keeps the ball down low, and everybody's a high ball hitter with their semi-western grips, and you know, you rarely see Shea leave an overhead up there for the taking for an offensive shot.
It's not a poundable overhead, exactly. A few errors from Delmonico Gebbia, and that's sometimes what you need to get into a match. You need the other team to give you a little.
Give you a little help.
Sutter's pretty happy after her last service game was not easy, and she's getting some free points here.
Yep, no free points in the first 3 games.
No.
All of a sudden,
yep,
lots of gifting going on.
Let it go, let it go! 40-15.
You can see communicating about formations. They leave nothing to chance.
It's a good first volley to counter the blitz.
Team Shea Sutter, first set stands. Delmonico Gebbia 3 games, Shea Sutter 2.
For over 20 years, Paddle Pro has been recognized as an industry leader in platform tennis. The knowledge, expert advice, vast inventory, and ultimate customer service will help any player find the perfect equipment to take your game to the next level. Paddle Pro is the only website to carry all platform tennis brands. For more information, go to www.paddlepro.com.
All right, we have a match now, Patty.
We expected a match. Those first 3 games were a little, just an awkward start, slow start for Shea Sutter, and now we are right back in it, and that break of Gebbia's serve was huge for them. And, you know, they didn't do anything amazing to break. They just they were relentless, got a couple volley errors. And that's the thing, you know, you don't see many volley errors off of Delmonico's paddle, because she's pretty committed, a traditional volleyer, doesn't flip over to her forehand that much. So I think she's rock solid for them as a team there. So
yeah, she stays nice and low. She doesn't flinch.
And she's got great court coverage. You know, she's a lot taller than Gebbia. Gebbia's got to really be tuned into the positioning, and she's got to rely a little bit more really good anticipation.
Patty, I want to say hi to my friend Kevin Lyons, who's watching us from Virginia. He is a good student of the game and watches a lot of paddle.
Glad he's tuned in. Shout out to the Keatings up in Ticonderoga, enjoying the action. Love the shot here from my paddle to capture, you see the whole court, and you get a decent amount of the surround. You kind of get a sense of the atmosphere here at Short Hills Club, Short Hills, New Jersey. This is the 71st annual Short Hills Invitational Tournament, Lauren.
Little miscommunication there from Shea and Sutter.
Yep.
Nobody went for it.
But 71 years, Lauren, how
Yeah.
amazing is that? Everybody said I had to say that a lot. So I'm going to say it a lot.
That's amazing, Patty.
71 straight years.
Well, a little help from the left cord.
30-15.
The style of this match versus the other quarterfinal matches going with much more explosive play on the other courts. This is more kind of traditional play. You don't see the power overheads opening up the courts. You just feel like this match is just going to come down to a couple of let cords or not, and it's going to be close no matter what.
That was a really excellent let cord overhead, I must say. In the other quarterfinal match, Cruz Rodesno are up 4-1 against one of the other quarterfinal matches against Hanish Zabori. That would be quite a result if they can pull that one off. But still early.
Cruz Rodesno, great players, each national champions themselves. 4 national champions playing out there on that court. Cruz Rodesno, I saw them before the match, and they were feeling really confident. Had some up and down results for them, and they were so dialed in for this match, really looking forward to it. And that's the only way you ever have a chance to take out our #1 seeds of Hanish and Zabori.
Too much swing on that volley from Gebbia.
Match stay 3 games each.
And, solid game from Sutter right there. She got a lot of looks. She, pushed Gebbia way back, kind of let her hit some balls. I wouldn't be surprised if when they get to the net, we see Delmonico say, okay, Lauren, let's switch sides and let me hit more of the overheads. Carrie loves managing matches like that.
Yep, Carrie Delmonico will keep adjusting throughout the match. And, look, we knew the errors from Sutter in the first 3 games were an aberration, so she seems to have worked through that, and now this is more indicative of how this match is going to go.
And I think on that volley, when Gebbia recovers, when she's been pushed back for overhead, she has a tendency to swing on the volleys, like you pointed that out, where I think you'll see Delmonico, no backswing, no follow through. She'll set her paddle behind the ball, volley that ball, like a low bouncing ball, fairly straight ahead, keep the ball down, versus like an aggressive move, which Gebbia will pull off with her 2-handed backhand. She loves that. She'll love to swing through some of those volleys.
I mean, the problem with that swinging backhand volley that Gebbia hits is a good shot, but it goes right into Amy Shea's backhand, and she's waiting for it. So she may have to put that one away a little bit.
Right, and that's a great point, because even if she makes it,
Yeah.
you have the 2-handed backhand of Shea. You don't want to look at that. Great move, just, take a little break. There were a little uncertainty between the two of them. They just kind of set the record straight. Who's going to go where? And here we go. What do you think of that lefty over there in the ad court?
I mean, she's perfectly comfortable over there. They don't seem to be in any rush to switch back.
Wow.
30 all.
I mean, kind of a silly overhead to leave it out over there wide for the stretching arms of Amy Shea. She's going to crush that shot. She's going to crush it wherever she is, at her deuce court.
Yeah, not a great place for an overhead, period, regardless of who's over there, but especially when it's someone who can hit it like that.
And I just think these sets are always going to be close. They come down to a couple choices like that, where you know, a player as great as Amy Shea is just going to wait for the opportunity, and she'll pull the trigger when she gets it. She recognizes it and then pulls the trigger. And the rest of the time, she's just making sure she's not missing out here.
Okay, game point for 4 games in a row for Shea Sutter.
Gigantic swing here.
Aggressive volley there. Paid off.
Yeah, and she was beautifully set up. She kind of saw it. But again, you know, with Delmonico Gebbia, one of the things I don't see as much as I see with the other top teams is them getting really close to each other, getting that wall of backhands here, and I think that's why it tends to be some reaching volleys that lead to swinging volleys that make me nervous in key points. Just relentless is how I would describe Shea and Sutter in every match they play. You know, they've played together. This is their second season together?
Second full season,
Second full season. They're just going to battle, and sometimes it just looks like nothing comes easy to them out there. There's not easy points that they get with their style of play. It doesn't matter easy, it just matters how many and at the key moments.
Yeah, and like we said, you know, they got shut out in those first 3 games. They were hardly winning points, and now they just reeled off 4 games in a row.
And they got the help from Delmonico Gebbia. Like, I didn't feel like Shea and Sutter did anything different in those last 4 games.
Sutter stopped making so many. She was making errors in bunches, and she stopped. I mean, which is more like her than to make errors. But otherwise, they did get a good deal of help from their opponents.
All right, here we go. This is gigantic, another game for Gebbia. She's got to hold serve here.
Back to coming in. She stayed back almost exclusively most of the last game.
Right, and I think she can handle, you know, that return to serve out of Sutter from that deuce court a little bit easier than Shea. Shea has the ability, like, she just goes up there and she's about to crush the ball, and you don't get an early read on where her ball is going necessarily.
You don't. It's coming down, and then, you know, if it's coming in behind it, Gebbia did a good job there of countering it. That first volley a little bit frustrating for her. She knows it. Good hands from Sutter.
Really good hands from mother of 4. U Penn grad. Shout out to Trey, Jaden, Cole, and Chase. Hopefully they're watching their mom.
Patty, these games are going really, really quickly. I know it's not in Gebbia's nature to slow down, but she's got to slow down. Delmonico's got to slow her down.
Yep, and to me, that was, you know, we talked about it a little bit. And it's kind of predictable. We see them fall into these patterns. They haven't disappointed. They do follow their patterns. And, you know, for them, the challenge to really have a legitimate chance to get through this tournament and have a great nationals is that they can, you know, steady themselves out. They have so much adrenaline. And if you know Carrie and Lauren, they come out firing high with the high octane. And, you know, but somehow they have to figure out how to level that out a little bit.
All right, so Jolene Sutter is serving for the set now. Somehow.
Just an amazing turnaround. Hopefully we'll get some updates on the other quarterfinals. All 4 quarters are being played now in the women's draw, and 5 o'clock tonight. Both semifinals will be on YouTube on the APTA network, thanks to My Paddle. Especially Jake.
You know, Patty, we talk about seeding for nationals and how important points are for that, but it's also, you know, these players are all playing for the APTA Cup. There's $40,000 that goes to the top 4 players at the end of the season, so that's certainly a big incentive as well.
Oh yeah, Hanish Zabori have quite a lead in those points, but this weekend big, and Philly, you never know.
15-40.
So that relentless pressure from Gebbia.
What a turnaround, and that was a shocking miss right there from Sutter. That was untimely. And she just didn't have anything there. There was no room in the court to hit that shot. And again, you know, she just had a couple of those little errors. You said she had a couple in bunches early going. She kind of cleaned them up there. But I don't think any need to do that. Dump the ball at Delmonico and see what she can do with it. They can defend most of what, you know, comes out of them from that deuce court from Delmonico.
Delmonico serving to stay in the set.
All right, let's see how she does in her career 90% hold category. This would be a hell of a time for...
Missing the first one is not helpful to her.
Sutter is doing a good job. Like, you don't see that her lobs are necessarily that deep, but I think she's getting a decent amount of height on them, and kind of it's taking away a little bit what Delmonico can do on her overhead. What I hear right here in this game with Gebbia Delmonico, it's calm. Carrie's calling is calmer. And I think that's key. I think she tends to get really exuberant, and you hear it really loud. Yours, go, Lauren. Where I think if she can stay a little calmer, could be helpful.
Pick up.
Yeah, great hands. Really good shot, stayed down. Didn't really come off that side screen too much, and I don't know if Delmonico was looking into the sun, I'm not sure. I feel like she lost it for a second.
2 set points. Okay, that takes care of one of them. Good serve, good volley.
Don't love the move from Shea. She just sort of took off before the serve even. I mean, she really had no play up there. This is a huge point, not surprising. Delmonico's on the left of the 2 players at the net, where she feels like she can manage, you know, her team much better from that spot on the court.
You can see that. That's when it's so easy as from our vantage point. You can see it going right into the neck, and you want to say run up the side
Exactly.
or cut it off. But it's just much harder to tell when you're down there. Back to deuce.
Not surprising, a lot of balls to Sutter. Keep it away from Shea. But watch out, because when she gets it, she's pulling the trigger. It's interesting. Delmonico, Gebbia are a little bit off the net there on their volleying.
Wow. There was a.
And then it makes it tougher when you're off the net. Like that ball probably was going out, but you know, Carriot wasn't making an aggressive move on the volley to go in on it, and then just got tagged.
Sub point number 3. The good first volley. Gabby is the one calling all the overheads.
See, I like that volley from Gebbia. She was moving forward and she just hit it straight ahead. They gave up nothing. They didn't have to chase the next ball. Didn't have to shift. All they had to think about, is it going to be a drive or going to be a lob?
I mean, that's ideally what you want to do. You want to volley straight in front of you. You don't put your team in a shift. That's a dangerous shot.
Vintage Shea there, just picking that spot between 2 players. You heard them hit their paddles against each other.
There it is again.
And you can see Shea pulled the trigger and Gebbia Delmonico just got down to, you know, defend that volley. She does that beautifully.
Yeah, a lot of times you see players get down, they pop up, and Delmonico doesn't do that. She stays down so nicely. Well played point there to save set point number 3.
So kudos to Sutter. She just went to the same place twice. You know, and Gebbia stuck her paddle over, went to the forehand. Delmonico was all there, all set up to handle that volley. And another break point, set point.
Had a good look at it.
She had a good look, and she had a lot of room.
Yeah.
You know, she could have gone a little bit higher over the net, even just go higher because the net's higher in the end. And, you know, there was even room to the left of Gebbia there. I'd almost like to see Delmonico hit a hard cross court to Sutter and just see what would happen. She's got kind of laying off a lot of overheads when she's the player here to the right of the screen. And, you know, she snuck that overhead in for a winner.
I think Delmonico thought maybe it was going out. She changed her mind.
Well, I think she wasn't positive of the overhead. I think she was a little surprised by where the overhead went from her partner, Lauren Gebbia, right there, and kind of froze for 1 second instead of reacting and getting making an early move to make that volley.
And there it is. Carrie Delmonico is not happy that let that 3-love lead go, and first set to Shea Sutter, 6-4. And we will be back with the second set in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel presented by My Paddle.
High performance never tasted this good. Chocolate, berries, cinnamon, agave. Fuel your body with the shot and the bar. Now available in a deliciously energizing power pack. See how much farther you can go with Remedy Plus.
Welcome to CI Private Wealth. Here, you'll find a profoundly different wealth management experience. With the strength of our parent, CI Financial, we've built a diverse, world-class wealth management firm at a size and scale like no other. That means no matter how complex, extreme, or niche your wealth goals may be, you'll be matched with an advisor who can help navigate all of life's many challenges, whether personal or professional, so you can stay focused on the journey. Our advisors are the reason why our strategies are so unique, why our services are so personal, and why your wealth management experience can be so profoundly different. Get started today.
We are back at the Short Hills Grand Prix, starting the second set of this women's quarterfinal match between Amy Shea and Jolene Sutter and Lauren Gebbia and Carrie Delmonico. Shea Sutter won the first set 6-4, and Amy Shea is serving to start the second set.
Lauren, I used to think the first 3 games of a match were critical into the outcome. Clearly that was not the case here, and you know, I think Jolene, I give her the credit for that set. I always expect a ton from Amy Shea. She always delivers. Sutter started off, made a couple errors, cleaned it up there as the set went on, and I think the player on the spot here for me in this set is all Lauren Gebbia here. I feel like she's handing away some points here.
She looks like she's pressing a little bit, you know? She's aggressive and she's a great aggressive player who likes to really play offensively much more than defensively, but she just looks like she's pressing a little bit and trying for just a little too much.
Lauren, I'm thinking about Lauren Gebbia, and I feel like she's got to do a better job handling the fact that she's not getting a lot of looks, and she never is going to, you know, teamed up with Carrie Delmonico. People will take their poison against Carrie Delmonico, and Carrie will work to break them down. You know, Gebbia, I still think she has that inner voice that, you know, is looking for the knockout punch. And I feel like Sutter and Shea just are not giving her that many opportunities.
Yeah, well, if you're playing Lauren Gebbia, I don't care who her partner is, you're not going to let her hit the ball off the deck the way she wants to. Like that's got to be a main part of your strategy. You don't let a big driver hit drives off the deck.
Yep.
So there's a very, very smart team, Shea and Sutter. They know that, and so they're not going to let her do that.
I mean, they have to dig deep. This is huge for them going, you know. They had that lead. They rode that wave of adrenaline early on, and then it's going fast the other way. And that's, you know, they do fall into that pattern of just going a little fast, and, you know, you don't really feel the love between the two of them right there at that moment. Just a simple thing like that, you see there's a little bit of, you know, differences about what maybe they should be doing right now.
Let's see if they can get the train back on the tracks here.
And kudos to Sutter. She's getting the looks, and she's starting to feel it. And you're not going to make them all. But I love that she pulled the trigger. And you can see Gebbia kind of ducked to get out of the way, but there's room over there for that drive out of that deuce court from Sutter.
There's what Delmonico does so well that we keep referring to. That's just the perfect pace, right? It's not going to make it to that back screen.
Yeah, she's got the ability to kind of lay off an overhead slightly, maybe let it get to a little different height, and she has the height over Gebbia significantly, and that helps with her overhead. That's why her overhead is so effective.
40-15.
One ball went over to Shea in that ad court. They quickly moved it right back to Sutter. Lauren, Delmonico's got to hold for them to be in this match, I think, right here.
Yeah, well, she's got 2 game points here.
I just don't feel like if they get themselves in a bigger hole, it's going to work out for them today.
Okay, well, they closed that game out, so they're keeping themselves in it, and they just, I think that'll give them some positive energy.
Yeah, and
here.
as a serving team, when Delmonico has the ball and is serving, they feel very different to me as a team than when Gebbia has the ball and is serving. The Gebbia games just tend to go faster. That's where they're going to have to go overboard the other way to slow it down, I think. And I just don't know that that's what Gebbia likes doing out there.
Stayed in.
Heard a little encouragement. I expect the Short Hills membership to try to lift Delmonico and Gebbia's spirits right here and their level of play.
Yeah, it was a good point. You heard Gebbia say good shot to her opponents. They had to make a really good shot to win that point.
15-30.
Pressure, effective.
Gebbia needs something good to happen soon, and to kind of like switch the trigger in her a little bit right now.
She looks eager right now, Gebbia. She looks like she's ready for the fight here.
Yeah, Shea kind of backed off that. She was a little off the net, a little bit of room, and Delmonico figured that out. Had a good dipping ball.
Break point.
Delmonico taking a little time. Just had a chat. I see a big smile from Lauren Gebbia.
Yeah, she looks way back. Her head is back in it here. Oh dear, foot fault on break point. Wow. here Delmonico encouraging Gebbia. They're pulling together here, and it's not going to be easy if Shea and Sutter want to win this in 2. That hurts though, right, Patty, to get that football call on break point.
Unfortunate timing. But you can just see, you know, a football called on Sutter, and it doesn't phase her. She just has that look of determination. She's a grinder, and you know that sends a message to your opponents.
I don't know how Gebbia hits that volley. Delmonico's telling her where to hit it as she's hitting it.
Sometimes Lauren listens. Delmonico lived for most of her career over in that ad court, and just that's why she lived over there. She really has the ability to break down opponents from, you know, her lobbing off-speed shots out of that ad court. She might be nudging Lauren over a little bit more in the second set, I have a feeling. You know, just when the switch happens naturally, just to stay, not force it back.
They used to play the other way with Gebbia and the deuce court, but ultimately they settled on getting Gebbia's power in the ad, on the ad side. Strange, this beginning of this set is a little bit like the beginning of the first set.
Lauren, I see some results coming in from other quarterfinal action.
40-15.
Well, the big one is the #1 seeds lost the first set to Cruz Verdesno.
Morgan Sikora won the first set in their match against Anika Niculescu. Whoops, I'm wrong about that.
I think it was the other way.
You are right. Anika Niculescu won the first set against Morgan Sikora. I apologize for that error. Kira Medeiros, intriguing match. Kira used to play with Petrini. A lot of these women, you know, move around their partnerships all the time. They all know each other really well.
40-30.
Okay, I like this. Gebbia is leading the cheerleading here.
Okay, and there's a hold for Gebbia.
Yeah, pretty good serve from Gebbia right there. It looked a little shaky when she went. I thought the toss was a little bit out of her reach, but she controlled it, put it up the tee, and got an error out of Shea on the return to serve.
Love 15.
She followed it. Delmonico followed it. She knew where it was going, but she just couldn't quite get there.
Pretty good low volley from Shea there. Again, you see the lefty-righty. Jolene Sutter just staying on the left side of our screen. Perfectly content not to switch back until they really get a great look. And right there, I think that was a silly shot, personally, from Gebbia. She didn't have to pull the trigger there. I mean, Jolene added the pace, and that kind of fueled Gebbia's instincts to bring more pace. And I
Yeah,
think
that
that's
being said, she could have made a nice drive off the side screen there. There was nothing wrong with that. I think she just went for a little too much, as you're saying.
I think so. Again, if that ball's coming into the court more, I love the play. I would have loved the, the pace of that shot. But I just think that's Gebbia's sense of where you are in this match, what you need to do for your team. Sometimes you need to extend the point a little longer.
Okay, some big moments here, 30-all.
Well, we can't say it doesn't work because it's working right now.
40-30.
Both teams being really deliberate about calling every single ball. That was a big game, Patty.
That was a big game. A proud partner to the APTA, Fusion curates what's next in branded gear and apparel for your company, your team, or your event. With a team of dedicated industry experts, Fusion curates high-end product selections for customization with your club logo, team name, or corporate identity. We create a stress-free shopping experience with custom online stores and quick custom ordering to get the gear you need now without any hassle. Visit www.gearbyfusion.com and let Fusion provide you with the gear to fuel your game. Shout out to Dana Parsons, working overtime, helping set up all the logos for all the upcoming national events, get the stores going. Everybody orders amazing favors. Thanks to the official vendor of the APTA, Fusion.
Delmonico serving.
This match is exactly the match we were expecting. No surprises from either team.
Well, I found it surprising how easily it looked like Delmonico and Gebbia were rolling in the first set, and then it sort of reverted back to what we thought it would be, which was a tough match.
Yeah, you're right. It was a slow start for Shea Sutter, but got past those 3 games, no big deal.
Right on the line. That return, she takes it so early and puts it right on her opponent's forehand volley. It's a difficult shot. Good close by Delmonico. Ah, just missed the volley. Like the close.
Yeah, she kind of wanted those two, that combination coming her way, and she just missed that volley.
3 break points to tie this set up.
Oof. Call was out. Delmonico Gebbia questioning it. Umpire Carol Everton moving on. She saw it. She calls it like she sees it. But sometimes, you know, with Delmonico and Gebbia, they're a little feisty, and, you know, like a call that they could have perceived being incorrect could actually fuel them in a real positive way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've got to get over it. They're spending a little time here discussing the call where they've got to focus on how to break serve right now.
Love 15.
One way to break serve.
I would look for Gebbia to just look to crush this return serve. I think that's the thing, just the depth of Jolene Sutter's serve. Just to try to negate that offensive explosiveness that Gebbia has.
Delmonico doing a good job of following those nicks up the line there.
Gebbia had a good look, shorter ball. And, you know, because of this formation that you see from Shea and Sutter where they're keeping their backhands in the middle of the court, they easily defended it. I think that Gebbia's got to consider maybe taking a shot, you know, at the player straight ahead, just, you know, try to get a right hip, a little bit of a vulnerable spot there. I think, you know, threading the needle in the middle is not the play with Shea and Sutter with both of their backhands in the middle.
Yeah, it's the time to drive the ball wide. You're right.
I think, you know, they're only giving Lauren a couple of looks, and they're happy to have her drive that ball coming all the way in the middle, because it just doesn't give Gebbia much, you know, she doesn't get much out of that shot. Good hands, nice play. I'm sure that'll make Louise Cash, Lauren's mom, happy. I'm sure she's watching.
You're in trouble when Delmonico well, great play by, she got herself right out of trouble there because she looked like Carrie Delmonico had her on a string. Well done by Jolene Sutter.
Delmonico was just looking for that little waterfall type shot to die behind her on that back screen. Sutter saw the play coming and handled it beautifully.
That was all, you know, look, Gebbia hit a great return, but Amy Shea was just right on that that volley, that first volley, and put the ball right behind Gebbia and gain the advantage in the point.
Yeah, and as we all know, Gebbia much prefers to take a ball off the deck than, you know, pull the trigger off the screens. It's just not her favorite play.
James, Sutter, Shea lead the second set, 4-3.
Okay, and again, after falling behind in the set, Shea and Sutter play some really good paddle to get back ahead.
Very similar second set to the first set.
Yeah.
You know, they're Gebbia and Delmonico, you know, have had moments of brilliance and then moments that haven't been so brilliant. And Shea and Sutter have really just, you know, played a rock solid, steady match. Nothing outstanding, just everything really good.
15 love.
Again, we just see Gebbia staying back, not even really wanting to try to put that first volley in play off of Shea's return of serve.
Well, it's wide.
15 all.
I just kind of feel like Delmonico and Gebbia as a team, when it plays over to Sutter in that deuce court, like the basic of shifting a little bit more and trying to give Sutter fewer openings to hit, because Sutter's never going to beat them with a cross-court shot. I'd love to see them just pack in their positioning a little bit more to the left.
Good scrambling by Shea and Sutter. In this point, Delmonico had them running back and forth and all over the place, but they got themselves back to neutral here. Tremendous lob.
Really good.
Wow.
15-30.
What a point, Patty, that was.
Kieran Medeiros got through their quarterfinal matchup against Cooper Petrini. Not sure of the scores yet, but they are our first semifinalist here, and will play the winner of the Cruz Rodezno Hanish Zabori match.
Nice to see Annika Cooper back out on the court. She's been out injured most of the season, so good to have her back. Saw Shea didn't really have a good play on that volley, so she let it go, which is not so easy to do when the ball's coming at you. It takes a lot of discipline to let the ball go and know that your partner's going to get it.
See, I like it when Gebbia's to the right, Delmonico's to the left. I like how Delmonico can sort of seal off more of the court against the Sutter drive.
Like you said, they did a good job of shutting things down there at the net, Delmonico, Gebbia.
Well, and that's the thing. That's, you know, how Delmonico has always played. She's had, you know, a phenomenal ability to control what's happening in the court as the player to the left of the two players at the net. the firepower Gebbia has, and I'm just thinking about this. How many shots has she won off a forehand drive today?
Well, part of that is because, you know, her opponents are not giving her a lot of balls to drive. Part of that is because her opponents volley well. So, you know, I mean, you can hit drive a ball as hard as you want, but if your opponents are at the net in position and are, you know, adequate volleyers, then it's not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah, and they're really just giving Gebbia, like, you know, the middle of drives where she comes over and takes a ball, you know, from Delmonico's backhand, let's call it, or, you know, they've hit a lot, you know, decent amount of overheads, you know, with decent pace over to Gebbia, forcing Gebbia to try to pull the trigger on two-handed backhand with her body going toward the side.
Correct, out of
versus
position or in the screen.
court.
They're making sure to get the ball in the screen, and that's not Gebbia's favorite play.
Right, that's the play against her.
If
That's
you
the
can,
book on
if you
her.
can. I mean, she's good at cutting it off, but if you can get it into the screen, then you're going to be a lot better off than if you're going to let her drive off the deck. Switch.
Lauren, can I tell you my pick now in this match?
I wasn't going to rub it in or anything, Patty, but I mean, and look, it's, you know, stranger things have happened than a comeback here, but right now your pick isn't looking terrific.
No. And before we went on the air, I said, I'll always pick the home team, just to have fun with it.
But you knew this match was a pick-em. Either team could win.
Yep. And, you know, when you looked at the draw in this tournament, the amazing thing, there were a couple pick-ems in the quarterfinals, which I love to see. That just speaks to the depth that we have in the women's game.
30 all.
So,
30, 40.
like, that's really, I don't remember too many shots, like, right there.
Right.
That was
Well-
Gebbia coming over and just forcing the volley, but she's not gotten.
She hit a short volley. I mean, she,
Yeah.
you know, that was
Yeah.
because she got a short ball to hit. I mean, if she's going to get a short ball to hit, then she's going to do great.
She's going to crush
Yeah.
it. Yep. It almost seemed like Shea was indecisive. Do you let that ball go and just play it off the back screen?
Time she takes the return away from Gebbia, give up the net. See, this match is not over, Patty.
Second set stand. Sutter Shea 5. Delmonico Gebbia 4.
I mean, what a gift to Delmonico Gebbia right there. And Jolene didn't really have that much. You know, there was some room in front of the net, but I don't think she was quite set to pull the trigger at that point. And I think even when there's openings on the other side, there are times you have to resist going for it if you're not settled in footwork-wise and your shot preparation. I just want Delmonico to crush one overhead. Just really load up from the legs and lock it in.
It's not her thing.
I know. But I feel like Sutter is so comfortable in that deuce court now. Like you said, she's eliminated her errors, and I feel like she's totally feeling it. Real comfortable.
You know, I think that Sutter likes the pace. She uses the pace well. So on a ball like that, she has a harder time creating her own.
Right, she doesn't generate her own pace
Yep.
like a Gebbia does off the
Yep.
deck.
And so I'm not sure that hitting a hard
Well, I'm
overhead.
I'm talking about the overhead just to open up the court, just bring her flying up that side screen. You know, but again, you know, we've seen some of the women who have it. You know, Medeiros has the shot. Gabby Nicolescu has that shot. Anika, remember Anika a couple of years ago just dominated women's play with that overhead.
feel Sutter just waiting for a short one that she can do something with. And she's...
And Gibby is showing a lot of discipline here. She's dumped a lot of balls just deep down the middle. Not creating any openings for Shea and Sutter to kind of move into. Just keeping the play kind of more vanilla-y, I would say.
Yeah, and Sutter's doing a good job with her lobs of keeping her opponents out of the service spots for the most part. Hitting...
Come on, let's go! 30-15.
Short lob, and that's what happens.
This is what you see a lot from Delmonico over the years. She'll just kind of let that ball drop. She'll go back and forth, side to side more than a lot of the players.
Yeah, and she's able to do it because she's hitting the ball so softly, so she's not having to rush to get back into position.
Great low volley right there from Delmonico. And just, you know, Shea just never backs down. She just applies the pressure. She gets the opportunity. You know, and you talk about the mentality that Shea has. She knows she's not getting a ton of great looks, but she's capitalizing when she does. You know, she's kind of got the discipline to wait it out.
Oh, let it go! 40-30.
There's a lob long by Sutter, who would desperately like that one back. Point for 5-all. It's pretty fitting that this wasn't a straightforward, you know, when it looked like Shea and Sutter were going to close it out at 5-3, it immediately turned around. There's matches had some strange twists and turns.
Did you eat a big lunch, Lauren? Because you might need it.
Good job by Delmonico and Gebbia for hanging tough, getting themselves right back to even in the second set. There's the hard one we haven't seen.
But I love the play because it opens up the court. And I just feel like the whole match, all the overheads are sort of predictable and often hit with the same amount of pace. And I just think you've got to mix it up a little bit more to be a little bit more effective. And I love how it just opened up the court. Kind of provides a 1-2 combination.
Yeah,
most of these women are good enough, they're going to chase it down, but then there's going to be some wide open court, you know, somewhere on the court now.
Yeah, you saw Sutter just close right on top of the net and wait for that and hit it right behind her opponents. Good play.
I like the move with Delmonico picking off that first volley, moving in behind. You know, she has a lot of confidence with the Gebbia return to serve. Got themselves the net again.
See, that's the overhead that I'm not sure about. She had to come all the way back and made it a tough volley for herself because she shifted. Bad luck.
40 love.
Great swing. She got the look she wanted.
Yeah, yeah.
She
I
got
mean-
one of the easiest looks she's actually had in this match.
Hanash and Zabori are up after losing the first set. They're leading 5-2 in the second set against Cruz and Redesno.
A lot of room through the middle there because Shea and Sutter both had their forehands and no one had a clean look on a volley there.
Set up by the good return of serve there.
You see one of the several tents set up here at Short Hills Club. They have a great environment out here. They've got the fire pits going. You know, 5 o'clock tonight, this place is going to be rocking.
Help me, girl! Get it up!
You can see Delmonico's just planted over there. We've seen that for years. She gets herself against that side screen. You know,
She's got to hit that ball. I mean, she took the right shot. She just missed it.
she had that unfortunate miss on the leg cord, and you know, it's a pretty flat drive that she hits, and you know, not a lot of margin for error, and like you'd almost like to see her if she could just take a tiny bit off it and just gain a little more clearance over the net, but it's not her shot. Her shot is
on the
flat
point
hit.
before she hit a winner off
Right.
it. I mean, it's just
Right.
that's the way she's going to go, and it's worked for her.
Right. Right. But I do think with Lauren, she's not the tallest player out there. And when a ball gets a little bit out of her strike zone, you know, I don't see her laying off that ball a little bit. And I just think that could be something to think about.
All right, well, now Gebbia is serving to stay in the match.
Yeah, I'll be curious how they handle this tactically, if she's going to stay back and, or, you know, try to really come up with some great volleys here.
Sabori won the second set.
You sound thrilled about that one.
No, I was just looking over to make sure I was right.
I'm only kidding. Ho hum, they won the second set for sure. Yeah, I saw that quarterfinal matchup, and I said if there's a team who can give Hanish and Zabori a run for their money, it's. I love the play of the team of Cruz and Redesno. And I love the fact that they've each won nationals. They believe, and that's what you need when you take on Hanish and Zabori. Yeah, Gebbia stayed back again. He showed a little bit of the Australian formation. And they do that out of respect for Amy Shea and her return of serves. Little talk. Carrie might be expressing Her belief that this is a pretty critical serve to get in the box.
I don't know if that's a helpful thing to say to your partner, get the serve in the box.
Anywhere, please. You know, Sutter's done a really good job handling Delmonico's overheads. You know, she just reached up and blocked that ball before it hit the second screen. She's done a good job of that today.
Yeah, she's a really good digger in there.
Wow! Incredible combination.
I mean, look,
right
Gabby is applauding. I mean, that was just a tremendous shot. I mean, they all played a good point. Can't be upset by that. I mean, you can be because it's frustrating.
But a huge moment.
Yeah.
And who inserted herself into it? Amy Shea. That's what made, you know, the great players know the moment where something extraordinary, you know, needs to happen, and why not do it yourself? Great instincts, great execution.
And great hands. And Carrie Delmonico said, I can come up with something great too.
Yeah, Carrie was appreciative of that overhead from Sutter. Again, maybe wouldn't have been my first choice with the move that Delmonico made. She was kind of going out and overcommitted almost, and Sutter didn't quite see that.
Good volley by Gebbia.
Yeah, that was a great pickup. I just wouldn't engage Amy Shea right here, right now. Sutter's not going to miss, but she's not going to break down. She doesn't have the ability to break them down, I don't think. Like a Shea, when she pulls the trigger on her forehand and backhand, just the pace of it can, you know, force a volley error.
Game point for a tiebreaker here.
It's only fitting, Lauren.
Yeah. We say that a lot, but it's often true. Oh, gosh.
But, you know, like we said, these are number 3 and 4 teams in the country. It's going to be close. Not much separates them.
There's a harder overhead.
I like that. Just change things up a little bit. I wanted to see the real hard overhead to Sutter's corner, not necessarily Amy Shea's corner.
Oh, wow. just another, the quality of paddle in this last game, in this current game, is really high. Really good points. And
yeah, just a rock solid volley, and no swing, no backswing, no follow through. The ball just stayed low. That in itself is huge.
brings us to match point. And there it is.
See a lot of frustration from.
Good fight there. Good fight there in the second set from Delmonico Gebbia, but Shea Sutter were just a little too solid and came up with some really big shots at the end there, Patty.
They did. A lot of respect and regard for what they just did there. Turned that match around from down love 3 in the first set. They handled themselves beautifully and just played clutch paddle. And they have earned themselves a berth in the semifinals, where they will play
That's all I care about.
the winner of the Morgan Sikora and Nika Nicolescu match.
And that's a wrap from the women's quarterfinals. We'll be back at 3 o'clock with the men's quarters, followed by the women's semis at 5. Thanks, Patty.
Thank you, Lauren.
Screen drive is an offensive drive they use when someone hits an overhead hard off of the back or side screen.
You allow the ball to go to the wire and you follow it.
And then instead of hitting the ball off the deck, you just hit the ball off the screen.
You take the ball off the screen and you drive it.
It has a lot of pace, especially in the warmer weather.
You turn around and use their pace to return the ball back with interest.
Welcome to CI Private Wealth. Here, you'll find a profoundly different wealth management experience. With the strength of our parent, CI Financial, we've built a diverse, world-class wealth management firm at a size and scale like no other. That means no matter how complex, extreme, or niche your wealth goals may be, you'll be matched with an advisor who can help navigate all of life's many challenges, whether personal or professional, so you can stay focused on the journey. Our advisors are the reason why our strategies are so unique, why our services are so personal, and why your wealth management experience can be so profoundly different. Get started today.